camp together. And I had so much fun with Loretta. And I love Loretta. We've kind of gone hand in hand with our advancements, simultaneously through the marketing plan or compensation plan. So she and I have just kind of watched each other and buddied up, and we're not on the same team, but we're on the same team above us. We're on the Campbell team, and the Campbell team motto is love God, serve people. And so that is what we do. We love God and we serve people. And so that's why we serve everybody. It'll always pay off in this business. So Loretta is serving us today, and we're so thankful. She is so good at training, so good. And she's very practical, and she'll give you great tips on handling objections, because that as a new person can really stop you. It could be like, oh my gosh, they just said they eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. What do I do? Or they said it's too expensive, or, whatever. So she's going to help us. And I'm so thankful, Loretta, deal with those objections. And she lives in South Carolina near Myrtle Beach, right?
It's actually North Carolina, Carolina Beach.
Oh, I was totally off on that. Okay,
well,
so North
Carolina. Really close.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so I'll let you tell more about yourself and everything, your story. And then any questions in the chat. We definitely want this to be your lunch and learn. Regina, Patrick, Yara, all the people who are on here, make sure you put in the chat what you want to ask Loretta, or any comments as she's talking. So, and Michelle's going to help facilitate that conversation as we go. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Loretta, and Michelle can mute people and do that mute upon entry of participants. And yeah, here we go. Thank you, Loretta.
Awesome. Well, it's so nice to meet all of you. And, it's amazing to me is I don't think I know any of you. I mean, except for just a couple. And so I always want to share at least a brief version of my story because it's an incredible one and an incredible journey. I was introduced to Juice Plus. It'll be 20 years ago this October. And it was a time when I was a sluggish mom, about to become a single mom, 3 kids, and 2 of my kids were having health challenges, and I was praying for answers. And a perfect stranger at my church tapped me on the shoulder. Now she's a national marketing director, Heather Caldwell. And she said, I heard you were looking for nutrition answers, and gave me a packet of information. So tip number 1 today, are you talking to everyone? Are you stepping out of your comfort zone to just go ahead and if you saw a need or heard a need, take yourself out of the equation, don't worry about outcome, and speak up. And I'm so grateful she did that day. Sometimes I wonder, what would my life have been if that wouldn't have happened? And so I dove through this Heather's very thorough and I'm not. And big old packet of stuff. And I don't read brochures or manuals, but I will listen to a tape. And there was a tape in there and it completely changed the direction of my life. It completely put together the pieces of the puzzle, making sense of fruits and vegetables and why they were so important. And this product called Juice Plus. And that fact that it was proven that the nutrition was absorbed. Well, it didn't matter. Like when I want something, I don't really ask how much it costs. I say, how do I get it? And I partnered with the company immediately, bought all the products for myself and my kids, and have never looked back. 20 years for anything other than to just make sure I'm still alive with blood work and a few things. And my husband got COVID and recovered, and I've been so grateful for what it's done for me with energy and vitality every single day of my life. But my son, he was able to heal severe allergies. My daughter was able to heal eczema and rosacea. I had adopted her and she had a lot of other issues like sleep disorder, couldn't go to the bathroom, learning struggles. And I watched this become a gift in her life. And now she's and high functioning college graduate. And I just have taken Juice Plus every day. And to me, when you find something that has that kind of impact and the knowledge that I gained, I could not help but share it. I was ignorance on fire. So tip number 2, quit trying to know everything. Quit trying to worry about all the different tools and the websites, and don't let that cloud the simple system of sharing your story and a couple key videos. So, to me, that's all I did. I was excited. I believe people will catch on to your enthusiasm, your passion a lot more than they're going to worry about what actually came out of your mouth. And within a few 30 days, I had 40 customers. And within 3 months, I was making $500 a month. And it was the $500 a month check that I looked at. I had also just came out of a Bible study, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. Most of you might be too young to even remember that Bible study. But I had always known that a lot of my purpose was being a mom, and then also the fact that I had adopted my middle child. But I was still looking for more passion in my life. I was running my own business. I've been self-employed since I was 24. This is the third business, almost fourth, that I've ran. And, I was absolutely convinced that, there was something more designed for my life. And so I found a way to go to my first conference. Third tip of the day: are you going to St. Louis? It's a non-negotiable if you want to be successful. Not everyone at conference is making a six-figure income, but everyone making a six-figure income is at conference. I went and was blown away and fell in love with the company and the people. I looked around and I cried for 3 days saying, I found my community, and I've never looked back. I became a national marketing director in 2008 as a single mom, working full-time, doing this very part-time consistently. So fourth tip, consistency was the key of my life. I just was consistent with small, simple things that I was doing without negotiation. It was a non-negotiation that I would get to national marketing director. I needed and wanted the benefits package for myself and my family. I then blew out the six-figure income. I continued to dream. I picked up and left cloudy Cleveland, Ohio, and relocated to the coast of North Carolina, which was always a dream of mine. I continued to grow, met a wonderful man that I'm married to now, and I made more money, saved more money, and gave more money last year during the crazy than ever in my life before. And so what happened was, when I was a qualifying national marketing director, I was asked to speak at a boot camp. And I developed I'm sorry, sometimes when the chat pops up, I get a little bit distracted because it's like covering half my face for some reason. So what I did was, I saw happening in my own team was people were coming in excited. They loved the product. They said yes to sharing, and they would get quickly sidelined by negative comments, objections, naysayers, and it would take them out. And I was like, I can't have this. I can't have people that are awesome people, totally capable, being taken out. I have to equip them. And I developed a training called Embrace the Objection Cycle. And since then, I have probably given this training. So just so you know, there is a full recording. I'm not going to do the full thing today. There is a full recording of it. I will give it to Sharon. It used to be on, Julie Herbst's website. And it was on the Freedom Revolution. Now they have it like an objection sheet and everything. They took that from that training. And so I absolutely was convinced that if you can help people embrace the objections, it was half the battle. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share just to show a couple slides for points of conversation. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell each and every one of you, go ahead and stump the NMD. I'm happy to take any objection you ever get. What are comments you get that are negative? What is a statement somebody said that kind of rattles your cage? What is an objection that some of your people are getting and they don't quite know how to overcome it? But just for the basis of conversation, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to middle part of this slide. Can you guys see this? I'm assuming yes.
No, we
Okay.
don't see a PowerPoint.
Let me start over. I shared.
Share your desktop.
Yeah, that's what I did. Now?
It's there.
Now we can,
Okay.
yeah.
Just the wrong PowerPoint's coming up, but there it is. Hold on, like I said, I'm running off of the storms have me running off my hotspot, but we got this. Okay, so I'm going to start this. I'm happy to forward this whole PowerPoint to you too. So if you want to see the other slide you're missing. Oh, I didn't. I'm not going to go through all this because this is not just about the objection cycle, but we're going to get to where I wanted to be. Okay, so the very first thing you have to decide is where is the person that you're talking to? So every sale has 5 basic obstacles. There's either no need, no money, no hurry, no desire, or no trust. But let me just say, first of all, everybody has the need for Juice Plus, right? Well, you know that, but everybody else doesn't know that. So sometimes I think that we're jumping to wanting somebody to be excited about Juice Plus when they haven't even figured out the value of good nutrition. They might not understand the value of fruits and vegetables. So we have to first make sure that they understand the need. So sometimes backing off and doing a little educating around fruits and vegetables, a little bit of articles about, the powers of plants. And I think once people understand it, that is going to be a huge step. Also with need is help them discover their need. The same need that you had for why you started with Juice Plus might not be their need. And it's one of the reasons I always suggest in your personal story not to get too disease specific or, to be a little bit more generic with your results because, everybody's looking for something different. So if you were looking for better sleep and weight loss and somebody else is looking for anti-inflammation and pain management, and someone else is looking for kids who are not eating their fruits and vegetables, they're pickety shanickities, you've got to ask enough questions up front to be sure that you uncovered the need. You'll get a lot less objections if you go into it with ditching the pitch, which I'm sure all of you have heard about, if to discover that need. Now, no money, I have to say, I hardly ever, if at all, get a money objection. And so I think that if you are getting the money objection, you need to do a little bit of self-examination. You need to really find out what type of hardwiring in your brain is going on. Keep in mind that 80% of everything that we're thinking is subconscious. You might not even be aware of it, but you might be coming from the place of a little bit of fear about money, a little bit of worry about money, a little bit of already deciding that this person might not be able to afford it. And you will get that objection a lot more because of that. I'm so rock solid that this is the best investment that anyone would ever make in a day. I approach it that way. I also start at the top of the elevator, as Jay Martin taught me years ago. I share all the products, and I'm happy to come down the elevator to fit that financial need that, where they feel that they can fit in. So I don't come from scarcity. I come from full blown. I believe in the entire product line. I take the product line probably more than one time a day. And I believe it was the best investment I made as a single mom struggling financially. So I want you to think about that too, if that is something that's coming up. No hurry, oh my. How many times do we get somebody who, oh yeah, that sounds so great. Oh yeah, I really want to get started. And they're just fence sitting. Well, those are tough nuts to crack sometimes, right? And so we can talk about that a little bit more, but no hurry. We have to help them create a sense of urgency. So, really asking them the question, have I answered all of your questions? What else do you need to know about Juice Plus? And I will say, let's get you started. I'll give one story. I was working with a lady. I met her at a gym that I had been working out at. And we became friends, Facebook friends, and occasional seeing each other out in the community, friends. I had them over once, and she was all interested in Juice Plus, did all the usual things, sent videos, gave samples. And every time I ran into her, yeah, I want to get started. I know I need to. But so the next time I saw her, I said, Danielle, go get your credit card. So there's times, if that's right, that you literally just have to say, let's just get you started. What's holding you back? So that's one of the questions I'll ask a fence sitter and the no hurry people. What's holding you back? Okay, no desire. Why are you beating your head against the wall with people with no desire? We want Uncle Louie to be healthier than Uncle Louie wants to be. So sometimes you're like, this person needs this so bad. This person could benefit so much. But if they don't have a desire, I've been on calls with people that are bringing people to calls, and it's like they have every excuse and every reason why they're never going to get well again. And I can't help those people right now. They're going to have to hit their own wall, make a change, start to think differently. So if they don't have a desire to get healthy, you have to not give up on them. Trust me, those same people will have desire at some point, but at the moment, you can't fix no desire. So you're going to come across pushy and push people away if you're trying to still convince somebody who has no desire to get started on Juice Plus. No trust. Well, we've got to analyze your integrity. Why is there no trust? Are you being a person of your word? Are you doing what you said you were going to do? Did you get those samples in the mail? Did you send that video? Did you follow up on the day that you said? I mean, last night I had to give a voice message to a girl. We had this giant storm. We lost power. We lost internet, and I was supposed to call her back to get her order yesterday in the middle of the day. We gave like a little window of time she was available. I completely dropped the ball. I immediately voice messaged her and said, I am so sorry. And so, you have to, sometimes we do make a mistake, but we have to make up for it. And now we have a scheduled time to talk later today. Okay. So the other thing that I've learned from Wendy Campbell is I'm a talker by nature. I tend to, if I get around really quiet people, shy people, I tend to, struggle because I want to just not have dead air. But I have really learned to duct tape, to share my story and then go into information sharing. The other reason you might be getting objections is because you're saying too much on the front load. You are not the message. You're the messenger of our message. And so I think once you've shared your story, you have to stop going into explanation. What is Juice Plus? Talking about features and benefits, sharing more about your experience, and you're just creating defenses within people. Go into information, get them on event. It's not coming from you until they're ready to get their questions answered about Juice Plus. And using the tools, obviously, all of the things that we have to share in that attempt. So now objections. How do we handle them? First of all, being very planful about your follow-up. I have a notebook, and I know you already heard from my colleague, my National Marketing Director, Cindy Farnham. If you haven't watched her, she's amazing with this. But I take notes, so I know what's going on with that person. So when I'm going to follow up, I'm going to say, I know when we spoke, you told me blank, and you've had a chance to look at Juice Plus. Is this making sense to you? So just really knowing what you're going to say when you're going to follow up, ready to ask a question and pause and listen. Number two, you've got to drop the defenses. If they say something negative or have an objection or make it like they're not interested yet, you can't get in a defensive mode, which means that your voice is going up, you're talking more, you're citing facts and figures. Okay, so be very careful. Take a deep breath. Be silent a little bit longer. And for me, calm down. Don't talk as loud. Don't talk as fast. I was raised with 5 brothers and sisters in a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. I'm used to being loud. And so it's a little bit harder for me to do that. But when I'm following up with someone, I have trained myself to be a little bit different, so I don't put someone on the defensive. And I'm going to tell you, here's the whole training today for objections. You respond to every single objection or statement that they make with another question. I'm going to tell you, you're going to catch yourself. You're going to, in the coming weeks, as you do follow up, you're going to catch yourself. Somebody's going to say something to you, and you're going to say something back instead of ask a question. And I'm hoping it starts to make you uncomfortable, because this takes time. Don't beat yourself up. I didn't get this overnight, and I still fall prey to telling instead of immediately asking a question. And then you're going to listen. And of course, don't make any claims, and you better be ready to ask for the sale when it's appropriate. So I told my story, and they said, so I'm going to go ahead and come off of the screen share, and I'm going to ask you. You can either unmute and ask or put it in the chat, and I can try to follow it that way. But when you've shared and you've given information, what are some of the things that you've heard that can either be you think you're struggling with, or you think some of your partners are struggling with? Anything at all?
I guess, Regina, I definitely, the no hurry one is a huge one for me. I have several people that are interested in becoming partners. I'll say, let's have a conversation. Like, I'll set up the times to do the follow-up, and we do the follow-up, and then it's like, okay, well, I still have to, think about it. Or like, it sounds really good. The information is really helpful to what, I ask questions, figuring out their needs, and saying how Juice Plus can meet their needs. And then still there's just a little bit of lack of urgency, like you said. And same thing.
So let's pause there, because that's a lot to unpack. And what I would love is if we could keep this to just like, what's the objection? And just like one thing, because then I can respond better.
Sure. Okay.
Thing. So let me let me assume that you're talking, let's just talk about no hurry, acting like it's good, and you're more at the point of sale. And then we can talk about you're inviting them to be a partner. So if you're at the point of sale, or like if you're at the point where you feel like you've done everything, you need to just ask the question of, tell me what makes sense about Juice Plus to you. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me which of the products that you're the most interested in. You know, you're asking questions around drawing them up. What other questions do you still have about Juice Plus? Now, remember, I'm asking those questions and I'm listening. Now I will get to the root of what the objection is. Why aren't they giving you the order? What's happening when someone's putting you off is they actually have an objection. They're still not convinced. They haven't convinced themselves. They're still not influenced enough to place the order. But the other thing is the key is making sure that you've asked for the order. I think sometimes we hesitate because we're afraid of no. So if you think you've covered all this and you've had the dialogue and they don't have any other questions, you say, which of the products would you like to get started on at this time? Let's get you started. I don't ever say, would you like to get started? I say, let's get you started. So I hope that was helpful.
Yes.
Somebody who's kind of showing interest in being a partner, I might paraphrase back some of the conversation. You know, when we spoke, it sounded like it was really important to you to be able to offset the cost of purchasing your Juice Plus. And it was also, you had a couple people on your heart to share with. Is that still the case? Tell me more about that. And I'm always going to fall back on that. What's holding you back from getting started? What's holding you back? Typically at the source of anybody holding back from partnership is fear. So we got to get to the root of what is the fear. Is it the fear of rejection? Is it the fear of making money? Is it the fear of sharing with their friends? Is it, you know, what is there? So be brave. Ask the tough questions that are going to draw that out of them and just be ready to receive their answer no matter what, with no judgment. Okay, other objections you might get when you're sharing.
These are all really good, Loretta. Oh my goodness. I know I'm going to have to rewatch this, and I want to go and rewatch. I know I listened to you a long time ago, probably when you were on the Julie Herbst website. And I learned so much about objections just from listening to that training. But I know recently it's taking more time for people who are taking a look at the business to actually to commit and say yes. So I love what you're sharing here about what's holding you back. Because I know I've asked, you know, do you have any questions? And then they say, well, I want to do more research and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I think the other thing is doing a double check with yourself. Have you not skipped any steps? With that person that shared, have they had a complete overview of our virtual franchise? You know, have you gone through the business presentation? Have they watched the business videos? Have you sent them a couple of stories from the Monday night call series with a national marketing director that would apply to maybe where they're at? Have you brought them to a connection call? Just like it takes 5 exposures to someone to make a decision about purchasing Juice Plus, it often takes 5 exposures for them to say yes to becoming part of your team or to having more vision with it. So don't skip any steps. I think a lot of times on the side of inviting to the team, we don't do the thorough job that we do with the product, where we're giving them samples and then we're getting them on and one of the Zoom events, we're getting an in-home wine and wellness. We're doing all this, educating, brochures. But then when we invite them to the team, we wonder why they're not yet interested. They might need more. And then again, falling back on paraphrasing back and then inviting them to make a decision. What's holding you back from getting started? The same with partnering. So
Good.
Nobody has any other objections, because I can go ahead and throw them out and go over them. But I was thinking that you would want to throw them at me, but I can come up with them myself too. Okay, great. Kathy, I keep getting Wikipedia says it's not the accurate, and internet says that the company blah, blah, blah. So somebody Googled Juice Plus and stumbled across negative information. Let's tackle that one. I've definitely had it several times. Number one, I love a skeptic. If I win over a skeptic, I have the most rock solid person getting started on the product and even potential team member because they've overcome all of their own objections and they won't be afraid to share because they're now rock solid. Don't give me the fly-by-night spontaneous decision maker who won't ever even take their Juice Plus because they say yes to everything and they're super fickle and they come along and buy the next thing that comes their way. So again, don't be defensive. So here's some responses to I found something, Wikipedia, whatever it is. It would be, oh my gosh, I so admire people that take their time to do the research. So first of all, edify that person. They're not doing something bad. They're being smart and say, I don't blame you. There's so much out there on the market. I love the fact that you're taking some time to look into it. Tell me what you found. You not being defensive and then being able to look you in the eye and tell you something negative about something that you believe in is going to build trust really quickly. And so I will listen to them. Let's just say Wikipedia, after they've shared and they've said, I'll say, tell me how much do you rely on Wikipedia for information gathering? I'm going to ask another question. So there's two questions. So I've allowed them to be the speakers. And then I'm going to ask the question, did you know that teachers are not even allowed to use Wikipedia in the classroom because anyone can put anything on Wikipedia? So that's one way I've overcome Wikipedia. Another thing I will say after I've praised them for being good researchers is I'll say, so let's get Wikipedia out. They found something else. Okay, there's something on the internet that's like 15 years old. It's by some quackwatch doctor who's been in jail twice and had his medical license taken away. He's completely invalid, but I'm not going to tell the person that. So let's also talk about what not to do. Okay, if somebody told me they found something on Wikipedia and I said, well, Wikipedia is not a reliable source. You just slammed that person. So no objection. Can you tell them they're wrong? So be very careful that you're not just responding with the answer, even if you're right. You need to let them discover that they might not be accurate by asking questions. Okay, so if they found something else, I would say, again, I admire you, you looked, and I would say, tell me what you found. I listened. Then it would say, what website was it on? It would say, who was the person writing the article? Tell me about their credentials behind what kind of credentials do they have? And 99.9% of the time I've ever done that, the person doesn't even know. They don't know where they found it. They don't know who said it. And then I can turn that around a little bit. I could say, I know some highly credentialed doctors, physicians, and other people that I could share some additional websites with you so that you could look at both sides of that story. Are you open to that? I can send them links to Dr. Sears, askdrsears.com, along with his credentials. I can send a couple of the things from our own website with the who's who's. I'm going to just give them more information now. So I'm always going to get them open to saying yes to more information. Okay, hope that's helpful. Anything else?
I see someone saying, oh, he uses Feel, Felt, Found, and Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers. Oh, and Kathy saying thank you. But Loretta, please keep sharing different objections that you usually share.
Okay, so let's just talk about money objection. So you've done your due diligence. Okay, let me just say something about money things too. Here's what I see my partners doing that are not willing to be teachable on this topic is they come to me and say, the person said they can't afford it. I said, well, what videos did they watch? Did they get on a connection? Did they get onto one of our live Zooms? Have they been to an in-home event? Have you had a one-on-one with them? Have you given them samples? And it's like, no, you're quoting price too quickly. You do not talk about the price till the person has all the information. How are they going to know what they're saying no to? So, here's what people will do. Oh, it's only $250 a day. It's $75 a month. Well, how do we know they not want a quad? How do we know they might not just want fruit, vegetable, healthy starts? Might even come in the door of shakes. I just got somebody started on only shakes. That's where they were at. I did all my due diligence. We started them on shakes. So I always say this. If they say, well, how much does it cost? I always say, oh my gosh, in my opinion, it's the best part. They have made it so affordable to flood your body with a massive amount of nutrition every day. But I'm not sure which of the products you're going to be most interested in. So after you've looked at it, after you've watched the videos, let's reconnect so we can go over that. I'm putting off quoting price. Now, some people will go and look and I'll tell you what to do with that. But bottom line is it shouldn't be rattled off of your mouth initially during new prospecting. Okay, does that make sense? Now, if they have done all of that and they just say, you know what, I just cannot afford to put one more thing in my budget, I will often say, I can totally understand how you feel. I felt that way at the beginning because I was a single mom and not sure how I was going to make that work. If you felt that you could afford it, would you want it? Which of the products are you most interested in? I'm going to find out if that's really at the core. Because I'm going to tell you, I've often found that's not the reason. Their husband didn't want them to start or something. So now sometimes it really is legitimate. And so now I can transition to the partner. Now I can invite them to the partner plus, $100 back, all the sales profit back. We could get your product for the first 4 months supply paid for so you could experience it and we could then figure out a way. Are you open to that? So can't afford it. If they use the words, it's too expensive, here are my questions. Tell me what you're comparing it to. What made you decide that? Do you currently have a budget for supplements or wellness? Have you ever considered putting that into your budget? There's 4 questions. Door didn't close now, folks. Do you see it? I didn't close the door because the door's still open because now they're conversing with me. So hopefully that's helpful. I think another popular one I could cover, at least I get this a lot because there are so many products on the market. Somebody that's very confident in the way that they eat. Okay, let's just say the person, oh my gosh, we eat so many fruits and vegetables. We're all about fruits and vegetables. I love that person because they're going to be on my team because they're going to fall in love with this community because they're woven of the same cloth and I am going to do everything I can to do everything right. So I'm excited about that person. That's not a no yet. I'm going to embrace that objection and say, oh my gosh, that's music to my ears. Tell me more about it. Where do you shop? Do you buy organic? What is your philosophy about being vegan or plant-based? I'm going to get into this. They're going to become the experts in my world. I'm going to pick their brain. And then I'm going to say, well, how many fruits and vegetables do you get every day? Now we're talking. They are getting the recommended. And I knew that, but guess what could happen? They say eat fruits and vegetables, and here's the person in the field saying, oh my gosh, they don't eat fruits and vegetables. There's no way you could possibly get all that Juice Plus can get. And you know what? You're not eating elderberries and bilberries and artichoke hearts, are you? You're going to make them defensive because you're going to tell them all that's in Juice Plus. I've actually been and observed people in those conversations and they jump right to, I'm defensive. There's no way you're getting enough instead of embracing. So those are, that's, I'm trying to just paint the picture. I'm trying to get you to get the feel for, it doesn't matter what they say to you. They might say, oh, I take, a matter of fact, I just had this on a call. Oh, I already take vitamin C, vitamin E, I'm taking vitamin D3. I'm not going to say, well, I don't even believe in isolated fragmented vitamins and you're probably polluting your body pretty bad and I have about 10 articles I could send you. I'm not going to do that to that person. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I'm sure you've read a lot of articles about the importance of bridging the nutrition gap and a lot of people have turned to supplements. What brand do you take? Tell me about the label. Where do you purchase them? Tell me about what kinds of results that you've had with them. With the regimen. And then they've talked to me. I'm going to transition to, oh my gosh, you're going to love this. This is going to totally fit in with your philosophies. I cannot wait to get your feedback about Juice Plus. It might fit in great with your current regimen. It might even possibly complement it or might even be an option to not have to take as many. Would you, take a look at these videos. So now I'm going to transition after I've had the conversation to being excited with them because they're already into bridging the nutrition gap. We don't have to tell them that we're better. They'll discover it through your education. Okay, I've talked longer than I was supposed to. I'm going to stop. I hope you get the flavor of what I'm teaching and training. And I do have this full thing on a 30-minute recording of a YouTube video. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I've saved a lot of things I've trained on, as well as some great calls for my team. It's Loretta Wilkins.
Loretta, that was so good. Guys, I know this is a main part of our business is objections, right? We are constantly overcoming objections. It's funny that someone asked the question about someone saying, hey, I looked it up on Wikipedia because I got an objection like that last night, where he said, oh, I saw some negative talk about you on Google. And so I didn't do what Loretta suggested, but now I'm going to go back. I'm going to backtrack and just say, I love that you're doing research, and give him something that's more, sustainable, like something better that's from us and not just from whoever decided to post something negative about us. So this was so good. And I remember whenever I heard you train before, I always loved your trainings, but I am going to rewatch this, and I'm going to find your YouTube and put it in the Facebook group under, so everyone can click to that too. But I'm so grateful that you said yes while Sharon and Doug are moving to be our guest and share with us and give us this training. It was so good. I've been doing this business for 10 years, and this just was really like super eye-opening. I see Patrick has a question. Your hand is up, Patrick.
Yes, I'm originally from Ohio as well. I'm actually in Cincinnati right now, visiting family. Yes. Question for you. What are your go-to videos? Like 2 or 3 videos that you like to send to people?
Yeah, I'm the queen of simple. I literally I have all the ones that are on the Freedom Revolution on a notes page in my phone. Plus essentials, I send the complete by Jan Roberto, and I send the document on the Omegas, because I like to read things. So I send those.
Okay.
Sometimes I will literally just start. I do assess the type of person. If I think information is going to overwhelm them, I just send the Juice Plus Essentials, and I see where they're at from there.
Okay.
But I think they're really ready to dive in and look into more. I love the Juice Plus Essentials Complete by Jan Roberto and 1 Omega document, so they can kind of get a little bird's eye of the whole product line.
All right. Thank you so much.
And over and over again. Now, if I get a real foodie that I know is all about organic, I'm going to send the farm to capsule video with the essentials.
Okay.
But just get this page on your phone and have them categorized, ready, shoot them, stick to the same ones, keep it simple. No rocket science. You can't really say the wrong thing to the right people anyhow. So.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else have any questions?
Gabrielle.
Okay. So I guess
Denzel. I see Denzel has a question.
Denzel, you can go first. I'll go after you.
Oh, sorry, Gabby. I didn't see you. I need to change my view.
I literally was trying to listen to Gabrielle's question. I forgot mine. So go ahead, Gabby.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I have another objection. What if someone's like, oh, I have to talk to my doctor?
Oh, that's a great one. One of my favorites. Again, I'm not about to say your doctor is going to spend about 3 minutes of time with you, and they have about 3 hours of nutritional training. I mean, there's a lot I could say about that, right? But I'm not going to. I'm going to say, oh, what kind of doctor are you seeing? Tell me more about that. I'm going to ask them, tell me how much of your education have you gotten on your wellness and nutrition from your doctor? Tell me what they've taught you so far. And then I'm going to ask the question, what do you think your doctor will say about you eating more fruits and vegetables? So if I ask those couple questions, oh, and by the way, Michelle, I have a document with all these with the 3 or 4 questions on them. So I will email those if you, Michelle, if we can get connected on Voxer, I can just give you the video that you only have to go look for, and I can email you that document if it's helpful to anybody. Because I think sometimes before you do your follow-up, you kind of peruse through it and refresh your memory with some questions. That would be a helpful tool as well. But I have those all typed up. I've gotten that objection many times. But typically, if I ask those several questions, they're going to be like, yeah, like, why do I need to ask my doctor if I can eat more fruits and vegetables? And then, though, if they really are with a lot of severe medical issues and they really do feel this need, I make sure they go in with the bottles and a brochure, because then the practitioner will look, and 9 times out of 10 be like, yeah, that looks fine. it's when they don't know what it is or they think it's a supplement that they're afraid of. But if they can come in with a couple of the bottles, that often helps too. So I also will arm my potential customer with information so the doctor can get education. I'll print out the research summary sometimes too. So I hope that helps.
Yes, helpful. Thank you.
Denzel,
Denzel,
did
do
you remember? I know.
Okay, well, if you think of one that you need me to record a Voxer for you, just come to my Voxer. I'm still Loretta Koeth on my Voxer. Been trying to change my name everywhere, but Voxer will not let me change my name, no matter what I do. And I've emailed them and I can't figure it out. So I'm Loretta Koeth, Koeth, but you see my picture, so you'll know it's me.
Okay. All the videos.
Yes, we'll make sure we get that to you. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day. It was so nice to meet so many new people today. And let me know if there's anything else I can do for you, Michelle, and for our family.
Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much,
it.
Loretta.
Thank you so much, Loretta. Appreciate it.
Golden.
So good.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Let me stop the recording.
Thank you.